Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, wa sallallahu wa sallam ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa man wala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the primer for the primer, right? And we're going to talk about now some key terms and concepts that you need to have before we start reading the text together. The first one is al-asl. And actually, we're not going to read the text together. We're going to cover parts of the text together that will get you ready for reading the text together. Al-asl is a foundation or a root, hence you see the tree, the basis from which something is derived. In usul al-fiqh, it refers to the foundational principles used to derive rulings. Al-Amiri is the one who introduced this in a book called Al-Ahkam, the idea of munshi'u shay, that it is the source from which other things come from. In contrast, we have al-fara here, this word al-fara, with ayn, which is a branch. So it's the opposite of a foundation. It's the opposite of an asl, meaning that it comes from something, nothing comes from it. What is derived from or built upon the foundation. In jurisprudence, it refers to the derived or secondary ruling based on principles. So we have the command to pray. That's an asl. How do you pray on a plane is going to be derived from all those foundations. So that ruling is going to be fara, secondary. How do you do it? It's a secondary issue. We have the command to pray. Where do you put your hands in salah? On your chest, above your navel, on the side. That's fara. So the asl to pray, you're going to take numerous texts and hadith about the prayer and how to pray. Those are going to be the foundations extracted at certain moments, as we'll talk about in usul al-fiqh, in certain situations and contexts, are going to be rulings that demanded this extraction. And those extracted rulings are called furu', the plural of fara. So you're not going to take a ruling from where you put your hands on the side or on you're not going to take another ruling for something else from that. Where do I put my hands? Here, 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 here. That's why it's a fara. But all those hadith about prayer and praying are sources. So those are foundations. See that relationship? Al-fiqh, knowledge of practical legal rulings derived from detailed evidence. It represents understanding of divine law as applied to human actions. An attempt to understand. That's why it's called al-fiqh, because the word fiqh means to understand. The hadith of the Prophet, whoever Allah intends good for, yufaqihu, gives him an understanding of religion. Prophet Musa said, yafqahu, my statement. Oh Allah, remove the knot from my tongue. Open my chest, expand my chest, and remove my speech impediment. Why? Yafqahu. They can understand my communication. Usul al-fiqh, the principles through which practical legal rulings are derived from their detailed evidence, the methodology of Islamic jurisprudence. We're going to unpack that more later, don't worry. The word at-tasanif, tasnif or tasanif means authored works or compositions. An author is the musannif. The musannif. Tasnif is authoring. In scholarly tradition, this refers to organized written works categorized and presented in a systematic way to help you understand a given subject. Finally, al-waraqat literally means papers or a few papers, a concise primer on usul al-fiqh, demonstrating that significant knowledge can be conveyed in a brief format. Imam al-Haramain is at the beginning of this idea of let's make things as concise as possible that communicate these massive ideas. So that's what Waraqat is doing. Mastering the foundational terms in this text that are needed for understanding the principles of Islamic jurisprudence that are presented here. If you do that, each of them represents a foundational building block. So each chapter that we study together is like a foundational building block. It's like an amino acid for your knowledge. It's going to help you grow in your understanding of the methodology, approach, purpose, and meaning of usul al-fiqh, which of course is related to deriving Islamic rulings for primary sources. Here are some assessments if you're enrolled at Swiss. This applies to you. Our evaluations and assessments, quizzes, about 20%, term paper, 30%, final exam, 40% participation, 10%. In the evaluation areas I'm going to be focusing on with students at Swiss are comprehension, application, analysis, and integration. We definitely have Bloom's taxonomy working overtime here. Here's a grading scale also, if you're interested. And finally, if you want to join, alhamdulillah, and become a student at Swiss, support the work we do, here's program details. What do you need to do? You're going to need around 12 weeks, 2 hours weekly. You're going to do either on demand, and you can also create office hours with me to set up discussion times and formats. And here also we have, let you know, it's going to be primarily in the English language. What are the benefits? You have an expert instructors, authentic knowledge, supportive community, recognized certification. When you finish this course, we give you a certificate. Classes don't begin the first of each month, by the way, because they're online and you can take them online and follow at your own pace. May Allah reward us. We'll see you next time. We'll continue studying this incredible text, the primer for the primer, preparing you for waraqat. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.